Should I do it?
Okay. Yeah, you can start with the Mangalacharan.
Okay. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurulmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Rasa Sundari Mataji, please accept our humble obeisances on behalf of everybody who have joined the group and are about to join or will be watching this recording later on. So Mataji, we are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 3, Chapter 5. Chapter 5 is Vidura's talks with Maitreya. And the text for today is text 15. So over to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, all of you please accept my humble obeisances as well. And I think we'll move on with the chapter text 15 of chapter 5. Vidura talks with Maitreya. So I just request that you can repeat, or is someone else in the group? It's just the two of us.
No, Bhakta Mugo is there and he is also feeling cold as much as we are. Bhakta Mugo, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances.
Is it cold there in Nakuru?
No, not in Nakuru. I'm in Nyeri.
You are in Neri, oh, so you are like us. Is it cold in Neri?
Yeah, it's pretty cold here. Yeah, but yes.
Yeah, we are really freezing here in Eldoret and Nairobi.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. July.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Mataji. So it is the three of us. The rest will
So I request that I recite the shloka and Bhaktamugu can repeat, and maybe Mataji you can read the purport. It's a small purport.
Okay, not a problem. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Okay. Tadasya kosha rava sharma datu hare katam eva kata susaram urritya pushpe vyaivarta bandhu Shivaya na kirtaya tirta kirte. Okay, so now I'll just read line by line and he can repeat. Tadasya kosha rava sharma ratur.
Pradasya kausharavasarmadatur
Hare katam eva kata susaram.
Hare katham eva kathasu saram
Udritya pushpe vyaivartabandhu.
Udrite pushpeya ivararte bandho
Shivaya na kirtaya tirta kirti.
Shivaya na kirtaye tirtha kirte.
Okay, we'll go to the translation. Translation and purport by His Very Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki.
Yeah.
O Maitreya, O friend of the distressed, the glories of the Supreme Lord can alone do good for people all over the world. Therefore, just as bees collect honey from flowers, kindly describe the essence of all topics, the topics of the Lord.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There are many topics for different persons. There are many topics for different persons in different modes of material nature. But the essential topics are those in relationship with the Supreme Lord. Unfortunately, materially affected conditional souls are all more or less averse to the topics of Supreme Lord because some of them do not believe in the existence of God, and some of them believe only in the impersonal feature of the Lord. In both cases, there is nothing for them to say of God. Both the non-believers and the impersonalists deny the essence of all topics. Therefore, they engage in topics of relativity in various ways, either in sense gratification or in mental speculation. For the pure devotees like Vidura, the topics of both the mundaners and the mental speculators are useless in all respects. Thus, Vidura requested Maitreya to talk the essence only, the talks of Krishna and nothing else. Hare Krishna, Mataji, over to you.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Gurave Gurachandraya Radhikaya Tadaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Asadhu Sadhu Tadaya Natili Chachatakara Handamuncha Kadachin Mam Premnarit Kantaya Suram Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Tinamini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtatya Vishatarine Tadasya Kusharava Sharmadatu Hare katam eva katasu saram Udritya pushpe vyaivartabandhu Shivaya na kirtaya tirta kirte. O Maitreya, O friend of the distressed, the glories of the Supreme Lord can alone do good for people all over the world. Therefore, just as bees collect honey from flowers, kindly describe the essence of all topics, the topics of the Lord. Hare Krishna, dear devotees of the Eldoret Yatra, and today we are discussing Vidura addressing his spiritual master Maitreya, and he's been addressing him for quite many texts in this chapter 5 of Canto 3, and he's been asking him to describe the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in today's text, he is telling him that you please describe these glories of the Supreme Lord, Harikatha. Why you should do that? Because it is sufficient to do good to the entire world. for good of all people of the entire world. And don't just say everything. Just as bees collect honey from flowers, they collect the essence of the plant. They collect nectar and make honey. Kindly describe the essence of all the topics in the material world. And what is that? That is Harikata, the topics of the Supreme Lord. That's what he wants to hear. And not just for himself, he wants to hear for the benefit of the entire universe, for the good of all the people of the world. And in the purport, Prabhupada says that there are many topics for different persons in the material world. In the last class I gave, I remember we discussed about differences between the living entities as per the different modes of material nature. And as per the different modes of material nature also, people are attracted to hearing different topics. But the essence of all topics is about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna Katha or Hari Katha is the essence of all the knowledge of all the topics that there ever can be in the material world. And this alone is enough to solve all the problems, is enough to bring peace, and is enough to do good to all the people in the material world. Now that might sound like an exaggeration, but it's not an exaggeration. It's true. The Srimad Bhagavatam, which describes the topics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it can and has brought good in the whole world. In the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Parikshit Maharaj is questioning Shukdev Goswami. And in one of the questions, just with the same mood, like Vidura is asking Maitreya, he asks about the good of the entire world. He asks, what is it that can be done that will benefit the entire, all the people, all the living entities in the universe? What is the good of the, what can be done for the good of the entire universe? And because of that, Shukdev Goswami, he describes or he begins narrating the Srimad Bhagavatam. Again, we hear the Srimad Bhagavatam, which contains the essence, which is Saram, of all the topics in the material world, being spoken by Sutta Goswami to the sages of Naimisharanya. After Krishna disappeared from this material world, we heard that in the last canto, chapter 4, after he left the face of this world, then all the sages, they gathered together in Naimisharanya, and for 10,000 years, they were doing a yagya to bring good to all the people of the planets, to all the people of the universe. And the yagya was not producing anything of substance. They told Sutta Goswami that we have just been coughing smoke. Our faces have become black. We were not black people before, but from the yagya, all that is coming off is this smoke and black. We can no longer even chant the mantras properly. We are all choked up. Therefore, please tell us what help us. Help the world. Let's bring good things to the world. And Sutta Goswami, he described the Srimad Bhagavatam. And in today's text, the same mood is with Vidura here. He's asking his spiritual master Maitreya Muni to speak Krishna Katha, Hari Katha, which he already knows that this is what can bring the ultimate benefits for the living entities of the material world. And therefore he is asking Maitreya Muni to describe these qualities, these activities and pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is the mood of the pure devotees. They want the benefits of the entire world. And this can only be done by pure devotees, like Srila Prabhupada. I just recited his pranam mantra, because the second part of his pranam mantra is Namaste Saraswati Devi, Gauravani Pracharini, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, Paschatya Dishatarini. This means that we offer our obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, who is a servant of his spiritual master, Saraswati Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Under his guidance, he is preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya to the Western worlds, which are full of Nirvishesh and Shunyavadi, which are full of voidism and impersonalism. So what is wrong with voidism and impersonalism? Prabhupada is saying here that people are not so much after the topics of the Supreme Lord, because some of them do not believe in him, they are atheists, and others they believe in the impersonalistic feature of God. And in these cases, this will not bring anything. It will not be of any benefit for anyone in the material world, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead is a person, is all complete, he exists. Therefore, it's an offense to say the Supreme Lord does not exist. How has this material world come about? How have you come about? How has everything around of you come about? It didn't just happen by chance. It didn't just evolve from nowhere. It was not the Big Bang theory or the other theory or everything else that they talk about. It came from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And why is there a need for the good of all the people in the material world? Because all we have been seeing is bad. All we have been seeing is suffering and distress and anxiety and fear and illusion, name it. That's what everyone is looking for, happiness. And why is everyone looking for happiness? Because they are not happy. Most of the time, people are in distress. People are suffering. So, for these suffering souls of Kali Yuga, Vidura is asking that Maitreya describe the essence, the topics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, meaning he is ready to hear. By hearing the topics of the Supreme Lord, this will bring good to the entire world. So today I'm going to focus on hearing. I am going to focus on hearing and how hearing can be of benefits for the whole world, not just to the devotees. It's of benefits to the entire world. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, chapter 30, text 25, the Prachetas, they pray this prayer to the Supreme Lord, and in this they glorify hearing about the Supreme Lord. They say, Yatra Dhyanti Katam Rishtas Trishnaya Prasamoyata Nirvairam Yatra Bhuteshu Nodvego Yatra Kashana. What does this mean? It means that whenever pure topics of the transcendental world, meaning the world of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which also includes him, whenever such topics are discussed, those people who are in the audience, what happens to them? Number one, they forget all kinds of material anchorings, at least for the time being. The audience who hear Krishna Katha, who hear about the Supreme Lord, about his activities, about his transcendental planet, their material anchorings become forgetful to them, at least for the time being. And not just that, something else also happens. They are no longer envious to one another, nor do they suffer from anxiety or fear. So we see three things happening by just hearing of the topics of Krishna. Number one, material hankerings become forgotten. And number two, envy is gone. And number three, anxiety is gone. And four, fear is gone. So no hankerings, no envy, no anxiety, no fear. Who wouldn't want to be free from this? Hmm? And this can happen just by hearing the topics of the Supreme Lord. Psychologists are a bit to lose their job by today's class because people go to discuss their anxieties and their fears with them. But today the Bhagavatam is telling us that just by hearing the essence of the topics of the Supreme Lord, by hearing about Krishna, then all our envy, our hankering, our anxiety, our fears will be gone. And won't the world be a much better place without these qualities, which are in each and every living entity? If we are no longer envious of each other, then so many problems will be solved. If we are not in anxiety, psychologists can rest at home. We can scrap the psychology course in universities and institute Krishna Katha or Bhagavatam, studies of the Bhagavatam. No more anxiety, no more fear, meaning crimes, everything will be gone. Won't this bring good to the people of the world? It will. So just this is for people in general, just by hearing Krishna Katha, by hearing Hari Katha, this will happen. So in hearing, not many people have faith that such things can happen. Therefore, only pure devotees, when they describe this, then they will instill faith. And then by that faith, it will encourage them to live a sattvic life, from where they will continue on to do devotional service. And by doing devotional service, all these problems will go. So when Krishna Katha is recited by pure devotees, like Maitreya Muni is here addressed by his disciple Vidura, that is a friend of the distressed, is an Atma Bandhu, Artha Bandhu. Artha means distress. He understands the distress that is going on in the material world, and he can address it. And by addressing it, how he will do it? By speaking the topics of the Supreme Lord, who is seated in the hearts of the living entity, that slowly and slowly he will begin manifesting to the living entities. And all fear, anxiety, envy, material hankerings, all will be gone. And they will be situated in pure Krishna consciousness, which is the real distress, which lack of is the real distress in the material world. Prabhupada says that in the whole world, there's no bigger problem other than the lack of Krishna consciousness. This is the main problem of the material world, lack of Krishna consciousness. And how to become Krishna conscious? Go through the stages of bhakti, go through the processes of devotional service. And the first process is hearing, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. It starts from there. You have to hear so that you can repeat, and then you remember, and then you perform all other processes. So it starts from hearing. When the normal people of the material world, they hear, then they are purified. Purification happens. And by this, they get faith. They develop faith. And by developing faith, then the process of devotional service starts from Shraddha. Then they associate with pure devotees. Then Bhajan Kriya, they engage in devotional services. And then the next step will be Anartha Nivriti, cleansing, now proper cleansing of all the material, of all the unwanted things in the heart, so that only pure Krishna consciousness remains. And then we will become really attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and eventually attain Krishna Prema. So the process starts with hearing for everyone. Either you have come to Krishna consciousness or you are not yet there. It will be beneficial for everyone. So what should we hear? So we should hear the topics of the Supreme Lord as described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, because we are seeing here that he's telling him to describe the processes of about the topics of the Supreme Lord. So why Krishna? Why not anyone else? I already said Krishna is the one who has created this material world. Therefore, he knows the problems of the material world and is there in our hearts. So by bringing him out, by him manifesting into our lives, then we get purified, and all these material imperfections, they go away from us and we are established in pure Krishna consciousness. Then there is no more distress in the material world. And therefore we have to hear Krishna Katha. And Krishna Katha is especially explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And we have to hear from who? From where we have to hear? We should hear from devotees. Should hear the Srimad Bhagavatam from devotees. Why the devotees? Because they know the Supreme Lord. And like Vidura is addressing Maitreya here, he is a friend of the distressed. He can see our distress. I'm repeating this point again. If you go, there are many people who have written about Krishna or who speak about Krishna. They are called professional reciters. If you hear from them, it will not have the same effect. You have to hear from devotees of Krishna who are serving Krishna. It said milk touched by the milk that has been touched by a poisonous snake, it's poison. Therefore, if you hear Krishna Katha from people who are not devotees of Krishna, from professional reciters who are out to make money, you hear Krishna Katha from people who are out for just academic knowledge. Many people have gotten their degrees and PhDs on the tattvas of Vaishnavism. I can point out a few, but I don't want to name names. But they have not become devotees. They can even expound Manjari Bhav and expound the highest esoteric topics of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, which some devotees who have been practicing and praying to Krishna and being devoted to Krishna cannot. But they have not become devotees. And you look at their lives, they are still stuck in material sense gratification. Why is it that it has not been read out of them? Because they are not devotees of Krishna. They are out for some other benefit. So from such people, we should not hear Krishna Katha. We should hear Krishna Katha from those who are devoted to Krishna, who are practicing Krishna consciousness. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, text 25, we'll see when we come to that chapter. It's called The Glories of Pure Devotional Service, text 25, 325, 25. Satam prasangam mama virya samvido. Satam prasangam mama virya samvido. Pavantirit karna rasayana kata. Tajoshana rasa pavargavatmani. Shradharatir bhaktiranukramishati. So in this text, the Bhagavatam describes that when one hears Krishna Katha in the association of pure devotees, satam prasangam, in the sangha of those who are sadhus, pure devotees, what happens? Then he advances, and this katha is very sweet. It's very pleasing to the ear and to the heart. Why? Because it is purifying all this material nonsense that we have accumulated for millions of years. And then what happens? By hearing Krishna Katha from these sadhus, these pure devotees, one advances towards the process of liberation. This is anartha nivritti. Cleansing happens. And then Shraddha, faith, steady faith. This Shraddha that is explained in this text is not weak faith. This is faith at the stage of Nishtha, at the stage of being fixed in devotional service. Shraddha, Ratir, then attachment to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One gets fixed faith, and then he becomes very attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in this way, Bhakti Anukramishati, real Bhakti begins, real devotional service begins. It begins by hearing from pure devotees. Before that, then you are not practicing pure Bhakti. You are practicing Bhakti Prasam Karma, of Bhakti, devotional service mixed with some desire for knowledge or some desire for sense gratification. Until then, you won't practice pure devotional service. Until when? Until you hear from pure devotees. Because only they have the capability to root out these anarthas, these unwanted qualities which are making the living entities suffer in this material world from the heart. And then we will be able to perform pure devotional service. And when we become pure devotees, then we will bring real good to the entire world because we will be connected to Krishna. The real connection will come. And this is what Krishna is hankering for. It said that many of us don't want to go back to Godhead, but Krishna is even more eager for us to go to him than we can ever desire. So we are denying him that opportunity by wanting to stay here with our distress. Some people are happy here in the material world. They think they are happy. Looking at the life of the devotees, they are like, these people, they want to jikazia, meaning they are not free. They are following 4 regulative principles, waking up at 4 a.m., Mangalarti, then they have to torture their hearts by putting it in some bags and fingering some beads. I had better have my hands free and swipe for Netflix and this Skype and TikTok and Twitter and but what you're doing there, it's also hearing. You're gaining knowledge, maybe not by your ears, but it's also hearing. But these material topics that you're fingering through, that you're swiping through, they will bind you to the material world. And this is a difference with Krishna Katha. When you hear Krishna Katha, it doesn't bind. It removes the binding of the material engagement. And this is what brings good to the entire world. Therefore, we should hear Krishna Katha. And how should we hear? We should hear with conviction that this is for my good. And we should hear with faith. And we should hear with eager. We should be very eager to hear the topics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we should hear with humility and with gratitude, and we should be very enthusiastic. Otherwise, when we are not enthusiastic, Bhagavatam will be going on and we will be, some of us even snoring. Then it will not have the real effect. We will be distressed and questioning the Bhagavatam. Says it will bring good for all people. I'm part of those people and I don't feel any happiness. So we should hear with conviction, with faith, with humility and gratitude and enthusiasm. Then it will have the real effect. But if we don't have, so what if we don't have these qualities? What should we do? How do we get the affinity to hear? Bhagavatam answers that question also. In chapter 1, text 2, chapter 1, text 2, canto 1, text, chapter 2, text 16. Shru Shraddhanasya. Shru Shraddhanasya Vasudeva Kataruchi Syan Mahatsevaya Vipra. Syan Mahatsevaya Vipra. Oh, it's going. Chapter 2, Canto 2, 16. shush rather than asya. That if by hearing we should hear, we should, okay, it's here. Shush rather than asya Vasudeva Kataruchi, Syan Mahat Sevaya Vipra, Punya Tirtha Nishevaya Nath. That by serving those devotees who are completely freed from all vices, great service is done. And by such service, one will gain the affinity for hearing the messages of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it comes back to the point of the sadhus. You serve the sadhus. And by serving the pure devotees, then you hear from them. And by doing that, then you get the real affinity for hearing the messages of the Supreme Lord. Some people would rather watch Netflix than watch a lecture on YouTube describing a Bhagavatam lecture or a lecture describing any of the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, because they don't have the affinity to hear. But if we are in the company of pure devotees, we serve them, then the affinity will come in us. So we should now start looking for pure devotees. They may be among us, or among us there may be those pure devotees. Therefore, we should pray that we may have their association. And Prabhupada is already a pure devotee and he has given us the Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, we should be grateful to Srila Prabhupada and we should pray to him to give us his association as we read the Srimad Bhagavatam, that we can gain more affinity for hearing and for reading Srimad Bhagavatam. And then after that, we should seek shelter of those devotees that are around us. And in the association, hear the topics of the Supreme Lord, read the Bhagavatam and other books, other scriptures. And then we should go out and distribute this knowledge. It's for the good of the entire world. Just like Vidura is saying, it will do good for all the people of the world. Devotees are paradukkha dukhi. They don't like seeing the suffering of others. We know we have suffered before. We know what it was like to be in anxiety, to be in fear, to be, to be under the subjugation of material hankarings. Therefore, we should be eager to save other people who have not come across this. Therefore, we should go out to the Bhagavatams and distribute and share the knowledge, share the topics of Hari with them. And this will bring them to Krishna consciousness gradually, first by diminishing these qualities. Therefore, I'll end my discussion here and call for questions, comments, clarifications from the members of today's class. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much for today's class and reminding us that it all starts with hearing. I mean, you can hear materialistic things, but and you can hear Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita or other scriptures, and also emphasizing on the benefits of reading the scriptures. So I open this forum up to any questions or comments. Are there any questions and comments from the group?
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Augulosha Prabhupada. Thank you so much for that wonderful discourse on that verse, especially on encouraging us to keep on hearing these topics of the Supreme Lord and how they will bring peace in our lives and on all those that we touch. And really, it's the best way to get rid of anxiety, and fear, envy, and all this material hankering. And I actually feel that such classes are much better than going to a psychologist or a psychiatrist. They are way transcendental. I don't know if people can understand. It's just the best. Plus the fruits of such is not just in this world only. Well, of course, even in this world, you feel much at peace, but also there's also a next life, which there's so much merit of hearing these topics. So thank you so much for being a catalyst in for us to hear and purifying ourselves here. Yeah, and I was wondering whether do you Mataji, do you get some glimpses of anxiety sometimes in Sadhana? You know, sometimes feel like you are maybe you've been given a role that probably you cannot accomplish. Feel maybe anxious or overwhelmed in your spiritual life, or how do you tackle it when sometimes you feel maybe you're not doing as well as your standards of really what your vows are saying, because sometimes the material world can be very, very hard on us. Yeah, and uh, uh, yeah, maybe, and those.
Hare Krishna. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Mataji, but I think we have lost Bhakta Mugo.
Okay,
But
I think we
can
have
at least respond to his first question, and then we can
yes.
continue.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I hope he'll be able to hear the response. Yeah, so
Yes. Hare
oh,
Krishna.
you're back. Hare Krishna. So I'll respond to your first question. Thank you so much for asking. Yeah, that do I sometimes get overwhelmed by material anxieties? Yeah, we are in this material world. You have to understand, as long as you're in this material world, all these things, they'll keep coming to us. Maya is very strong. Maya is not so, Maya meaning illusion, she is not very concerned with materialists. They are already under her grip. But those who have taken to the process of Krishna consciousness, they are the ones that she looks out foremost. How did you get past my grip? Of course, it's her service. Yeah. So she's after those people who have gotten out of her grip. But especially when you are not fully out of her grip, she will continue coming. So how do you get how your question is how to not be so affected by the material anxieties in this material world because we are still here. That's your question, Prabhu. Did I get you right? Yeah.
Yes.
So I had the same question because I've seen, you look at the lives of devotees, even Prabhupada disciples and all, and you see that at some point they fell into Maya, they fell back, they slid back. And so you fear for yourself also. So one time I asked the same question to my spiritual master, and he told me that Krishna is stronger than Maya. If you hold firm to Krishna's lotus feet, then Maya will not touch you. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu describes to Sanatan Goswami, Krishna Surya Sama, Maya Randakara. Yahan Maya, Yahan Krishna Tahan Nahi, Maya Randakara. But Krishna is like the sun and Maya is like darkness. What is darkness? The absence of the sun. So where there is sun, there cannot be darkness. There's just light. So where there is Krishna, there is also only Krishna consciousness. Maya will not be present. But sometimes she is there because we are not pure devotees. So what we go, it's nice when you are overcome by material anxieties and these things, to have a friend whom you can approach or who can tell you that you're in Maya. what you're doing is wrong, or who you can approach and they'll give you a guidance that this is what you should do. Sometimes my chanting is not the way, the standard I would want it. My reading is not the standard I would want it. But I find that being in the association of devotees keeps me on track. I'm speaking for myself. I can't do without devotees. That's one conclusion I've come to. I'd better be with the most with the most feared devotee in the temple. I'd better be with that person than be out there with materialists in total association of them. Because devotees, they keep you straight. So this is my process for keeping out of material anxieties and this and that. And sometimes you're given some service you cannot do. So at that time, I remember the meaning of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is what has made us devotees. The Hare Krishna Mahamantra means that Krishna, please engage me in your service. So we pray for service all the times, and then sometimes we are given service we don't want it, or we are overwhelmed. So at that time we say, if you have given me service, then I pray to him and I tell him, you have given me service. Then it's because you think I can do it. You'll not give me what I can't handle. It's because I can do it. That's why you have given it to me. And therefore, with the service comes the empowerment to do it. Therefore, show me the way. Guide me how to do it. And consult other devotees. That's why I'm emphasizing on the association of devotees. Because we have been through this. We can't do without devotees. I don't know if I answered your question or if I went round and round and ran away.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you. So much clarity.
Yeah. You had a second question, Mogo Prabhu?
Oh, Hare Krishna. I think where I was, there was not a very good internet. Hope I'm audible. Yeah. Oh, my second question was more. Yeah. My second question was more of sometimes we find Krishna in that. Which,
Prabhu, kindly switch off your video because we can't hear you properly. Without your video, I think we can hear you properly. Can you start again with your second question?
Yes. Yeah. It's a question I've been having at the back of my mind. Sometimes even how most of the devotees came to Krishna consciousness, we were told to just chant Hare Krishna and you'll be all right. That is all you need. And then when you come to Krishna consciousness, you are told it's not just chanting Hare Krishna. You need to do at least a round of an entire mala. And when you get there, you are told it's actually 16 rounds. And hey, they 4 negative principles. And not just that, you need to approach a spiritual master. No, it's an entire staircase going up and up and up. And when you are now inside, you feel maybe you've not really mastered the entire journey, and you feel like you are a little bit cheated when you are told.
Stand and be happy. I think we've lost Mogo Prabhu.
Keep up with.
Haribol, we can't hear you.
Hare Krishna, Mogo Prabhu, we can't hear you.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Oh, yes.
We got your question till that you feel cheated because it was just in the beginning, just one time.
Yeah, sometimes, yes, it is that feeling of, I thought I'll just chant Hare Krishna and everything will be all right. But it's an entire process of surrender. I don't know whether Mataji, you can give some clarity on it, because it's not as simple as we make it sound to new devotees, but still when now when you are in it, that's when you come to realize there's so much intricacies, nitty-gritty stuff that we need to really align ourselves for us to be successful. Otherwise, we can chant Hare Krishna and it will be a waste. Like it is said, when you don't approach a spiritual master, even though you are chanting Hare Krishna 16 rounds, you're still prone to falling down to animal life again and again. And it felt like maybe it's not very well. Maybe you can give me some clarity on that one. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mogo Prabhu. I understand you very well. It came up with Prabhupada and his disciples one time, and he was actually joking at them. I cheated you, I got you. I told you it was so easy. Just chant and be happy. But now there are so many things, right? Yeah. Well, when it said chant and be happy, that's a very profound term. It's not as simple as it sounds. It's simple, but it's also very heavy as well. Because chant the pure name. For people who have a lot of contamination in their heart, the pure name, Shuddhanam, there are different stages of chanting. There is semblance of chanting, and there is chanting with offenses, and then there is chanting the holy name, the pure name. It's called Shuddhanam. So there are stages of chanting as well. And as you progress, when you begin chanting, then your progress starts there. It's just like when you go to school. You go to nursery school, what are you taught? A, B, C, D, right? Up to Z. And you're told this constitutes the alphabet. But simply by writing the alphabet, you cannot write a book by knowing the alphabet. It's just the beginning. This is the basic. It's the beginning. From there, you go to standard 1, you are taught 1 plus 1 is equals to 2. And then you are taught 1 minus 1, just addition and subtraction. And then from there, as you go higher, multiplication is there, division is included. And as you go higher, there's algebra and there is geometry. And then you go higher, there's calculus, there is locus. As you progress, the test becomes harder and harder and harder. So if you want to remain in nursery school and just sing A, B, Z up to Z, then you remain there. But if you want to progress, then the higher you go, the cooler it becomes. You're in Nyeri, Mount Kenya is just there. Try climbing Mount Kenya. You see you need more jackets the closer you get to the top. So it's the same way with Bhakti. Initially, you start chanting Hare Krishna, and it's sufficient for that amount. But that cannot take you to the end. You need to progress slowly. Then you need to take spiritual master. Then you need to associate with devotees. You need to let go of all things that are not favorable to devotional service and accept only those things that are favorable to devotional service. It gets the process because you began hiking the mountain of devotional service. And it's a very high mountain. It's not a small mountain. But initially, no one will tell a class 1 that you have to do algebra and you have to do calculus. So it's not cheating. It's at the level that you can understand that we tell you chant and be happy and everything will be all right. So it's not cheating. But now after that, you have advanced. So we tell you now accept a spiritual master. Chant 16 rounds every day. 1 round is not enough. Or 1 Hare Krishna is not enough. Yeah, and it's for your benefit that we first cheated you. And then slowly, we add on the maths of Krishna consciousness. And well, if you see it like this as a progression, then you'll not be so disturbed. You take the challenge. It's a challenge. Challenge yourself and be patient with yourself also. Patience counts. Be patient with yourself. And be patient with the process also. It works. Because people reach to a point in Krishna consciousness also. They are doing all these things. They have taken to Krishna consciousness. They are chanting 16 rounds, but they don't see as if they are progressing. Then someone may begin to wonder, is it the mantra? Was I cheated? Or did I take the wrong guru? Or should I be reading another book other than the Bhagavatam? Or should I take to another spiritual process, to another spiritual organization? It happens. Complacency then sets in, the Maya that we were talking about. But if you remain patient with yourself and with the process, because you are not perfect, you are in the process of perfecting yourself. The process is already perfect, but it needs you time to adjust to it. Then you see the results as you continue. And I have seen in my own life. I have seen in my own life. So this is what take it as a challenge and be patient. But also not too patient that you remain at one round. Take the challenge. Yeah, it's not cheating. It's because if we told you this in the beginning, it would have discouraged you. Or it would have been too much for you. Yeah, it's not cheating. But it looks like that. There has to be some fun in the process. Okay,
Thank
Bhakta
you very much.
Mugo.
Yes, thank you so much, Mataji. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I think we have exhausted our time unless somebody has a burning question. If there are no burning questions, can I request Gayatri Mataji, are you able to close today's session? Hare Krishna. We haven't heard your voice.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank
Hare
you so
Krishna.
much. Yeah, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for such a wonderful class today. Sundari Mataji, thank you so much. Yeah, if everybody are available, please unmute and let us chant in glorification of Rasa Sundari Mataji, one Hare Krishna Mahamantra, please. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama,
Rama, Hare Hare. Vancha kalpatarubyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam vanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय,
Jai.
प्रभुपाद की जय,
Jai.
रास सुंदरी माता जी की जय,
Jai.
श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय।
Jai.
हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji, for a wonderful class. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, everyone, for engaging me. I'm really grateful.
Hare
Hari
Krishna.
Bol.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol.